Welcome to a special edition of NPS Now, your source of news and information about Norfolk Public Schools. I'm your host, Karen Tanner. I'm excited today to have our current Teacher of the Year, Sean Ellis of Maury High School, with us to share his reflections on his year as Norfolk Public Schools Teacher of the Year. Welcome, Sean, to NPS Now.
Thanks for having me.
I'm telling you, it was an exciting time last year. I was there, and I'm wondering what was going through your mind when they said Sean Ellis, Teacher of the Year.
One word, wow. That's all I kept saying to myself. You get into teaching, you never think about becoming the Teacher of the Year, so it was a tremendous honor, and again, I was truly amazed, flattered, but again, it was wow.
It was an amazing night. It was the same night we were recognizing our Inspiration Award winners, and you had 12 other top candidates. Tell me, what has it been like as the top educator this year?
Busy. It's been very busy. I've been involved with quite a few committee meetings, one dealing with the strategic planning for Norfolk Public Schools. Also been involved in other meetings with the top administrators with the city. It's just been a very busy year.
Right. So how has your role as Teacher of the Year motivated you or your students or the staff members there at Maury High School?
Actually, for me personally, it's honestly made me work harder. One, being acknowledged as the Teacher of the Year or the top teacher, one, like I said, was a tremendous honor, but now kind of feel like you have to live up to it. Not that you do anything different. I mean, all of my decisions are always based on students' needs, but again, just feel that I have to live up to the name now.
So how long have you been an educator?
Been teaching for the city for 13 years now.
13 years. What school did you start with?
I was at Granby for the first 5. So.
Okay. And what content area are you teaching in?
Well, mathematics, but I've always taught algebra, geometry, in the past few years, geometry only. Okay.
Is there anything special that you do with instruction in your classroom?
Sure. Well, 2 years ago, I created what I call my geometry mini booklets, and the mini booklets is what we use to take our notes. What I noticed, students were coming with notebooks, but every subject would be, contained in a notebook. So I created my own little mini booklet just for geometry only, and I've noticed that stopped that. But now this year, that's led into me videoing myself. Now that I know what the practice problems are already going to be, we decided to video myself doing some of those problems. So now if you miss class or you miss school for any reason, right. You can go back and video, at least fill in your notes. And if you have questions, you could always come and ask me. It wasn't to take me out of the picture, it was just to give them an extra tool so they could even see it multiple times, or just, I guess, view the problem as many times as they needed to, or even copy the notes when they're absent from school. So it's just an added tool that they can use in the classroom.
How do you think the students are reacting to this new opportunity?
Some are taking it well. Others aren't. To be quite honest, I think it's starting to grow on others. At first, they weren't too thrilled about it because, I don't know, they thought that maybe the expectation was that I was going to take myself or remove myself from the teaching tool. I don't think they knew exactly how I was trying to use it. So I think they didn't want, I guess, to try to teach themselves just by looking at a video. They wanted someone they could talk to, and I tried to assure them that I'm not trying to replace myself with a video. So now, understanding how they can use that tool, I think it's starting to work a little bit better. And
it sounds like a support. You go to class, you receive the information, the instruction, then you have the opportunity to come back later on and review what you were talking about in class.
Absolutely, because so many students, well, with 8 classes, they have a lot going on throughout the day. So they may have paid attention to follow along during class and then get home, and for whatever reason, one step is fuzzy, or they may not quite remember it as clearly. So I think it's a tremendous opportunity that they can go back and review the exact same problem that we covered in class and see it again.
Okay. Do you know of any other instructors who are doing something innovative like this?
Yes. Well, one of my Algebra 1 teachers, James Fox, is also currently doing it. It was actually his idea, and we just ran with it.
Great, great. So do you think you've been inspiring folks with your new technology ideas, or along with the kids, but inspiring other educators in your school for just being the Teacher of the Year? Someone working next to you saying, oh, if Sean can be Teacher of the Year, I'm going to strive to be Teacher of the Year.
I believe so. I really do. Again, like I said, the algebra teacher, he's working hard on videos. We've also started other people in the department. This is something we want to try to do department wide. So we started with the two of us, and now hopefully it's going to spill over and get contagious to the rest of the department, and then maybe other subject areas will want to take a part or advantage of it as well.
Well, that's a great attribute to be a teacher of the year. You have to be innovative and come up with different ways to take care of the students, because as most of all, they're the most important asset.
Absolutely.
Is the students. What words of wisdom would you give our next teacher of the year that's going to be announced later this month?
Don't forget what made you the teacher of the year, which was building relationships with the students, and always make your decisions based on them. Because if we make decisions based on, again, the bottom line is about the students. So always do what's right and what's best for the students.
Right, and I think that's important, and I'm sure they admire you and appreciate you. And here in the Central Administration Building, I don't know when you came in today, if you had an opportunity to see all of our teachers of the year on the wall, including yourself at the top. And last year we had a high school teacher of the year, which was yourself,
yes.
An elementary, a middle, and auxiliary services teacher of the year. And that's just one way that the school system was able to honor you all for what you do and the hard work that you do. Teacher of the year, and we appreciate you and all the hard work that you give, and we're excited to see who the new teacher of the year is coming up soon. So again, thank you, Sean, for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. And please stay tuned with us as Deputy Superintendent for Teaching and Learning, Dr. Linda Savigny, will join us to discuss the Teacher of the Year program and our upcoming celebration coming up next on NPS Now. Welcome back to NPS Now as Dr. Linda Savigny, Deputy Superintendent for Teaching and Learning, shares the exciting news of our new Teachers of the Year and our upcoming celebration on April 25th. Thank you, Dr. Savigny, for joining us today on NPS Now.
Thank you for the invitation.
Well, great. I know our Teachers of the Year have been selected, but I'd love to know, what is the process and the criteria to be a Teacher of the Year?
Okay, in Norfolk we wanted to make sure that the process that we use very much emulates the process that the state of Virginia also uses as they select their Teacher of the Year. So the first thing that we did this year was look at the state's application for Teacher of the Year and then tweak it just a little bit to make it unique to Norfolk Public Schools, and ran with their application. One of the first things that we did this year when the Teacher of the Year process began was to talk to some of our former Teachers of the Year and ask them about the application process and how the process had been run in the past. And the best piece of advice that we received was make sure that the system application is very similar to the state application, because it's a very labor-intensive application process, and we wanted our teachers to have a leg up, so to speak, on the application. There are 4 very involved essay questions that are based on teaching practice and philosophy as well as student data, and we really wanted our teachers to have as much time as they possibly could to complete the applications with the best of intent and the best, to the best of their ability.
Now, how do the schools select the Teacher of the Year? Is it the principal, the staff, the parents?
It's open to stakeholders, and every school does it just a little bit different. There is some certain criteria, meaning you have to be a certificated educator, meaning someone who has a certificate issued by or a license issued by the state of Virginia. You're supposed to have at least 3 years of full experience, and you have to be nominated by a peer or there is a self-referral process as well. So the application for that component is very easy. It's just a one-page nomination form that someone fills out and turns in to the point of contact in the building. And there's a voting process, and in some buildings it was done by secret ballot, in others it was done electronically, and others it was kind of a hand call in different settings. And the school determines who that final person is, and they submit the name to us, and we work with the candidates at all 50 plus of our locations to to complete their applications, and those were due to us in February. And this year we changed the scoring process just a little bit here in Norfolk. So once the applications came in, we made 3 complete sets of all 50+ applications and had 3 different teams score them using the same rubric.
Okay.
We added those scores together and took the top 8 right off the top. And it just naturally fell out that there were 2 elementary, 2 middle, and 4 high school.
Oh, that's great.
So we have narrowed the field down to the top 8. And then I've had the honor of working very closely with Sean Ellis, our current Teacher of the Year. He and I have visited the classrooms of all of those semifinalists and have scored and completed observations of those teachers independently. So now we are in the process of, he and I, separately from one another, of tabulating all of our observation results. And his observation results, as well as mine, will go forward to the Cabinet or Dr. King's Executive Leadership Team. And they will look at the scores from the application packets, as well as my comments and scores from observations and Sean's comments and scores from observations, to narrow the field to 3.
Okay.
And then on April 25th at our Evening of Excellence, we will announce the top 3. And then the final Teacher of the Year will be announced at that event as well. So we're very excited, but we're also trying to keep it a little bit more of a secret this year.
Okay.
The top 8 will become public momentarily.
Oh, good.
And then we will, we will put forth the final 3 on that evening, and then announce the final winner then as well.
Well, on the 25th, what's that event is called? The Evening of Excellence.
Evening of Excellence, and we honor all of our Teachers of the Year, as well as provide inspiration awards to other individuals who have been nominated, who fall into that non-certificated category of those individuals who work exceptionally hard in our buildings every day to support the teaching and learning, but are in a profession or in a field that does not have a license issued by the state of Virginia.
Right.
So we will honor, I believe there are 9 or 10 awards being given that night as well in the inspiration category.
Right. So what role will this top candidate have in representing Norfolk Public Schools, our top winner?
Well, we believe very strongly in teacher leadership. This year and I believe Sean shared with you, he's been very busy. We've tried to use his teacher leadership and his instructional expertise as much as we could this year. He is first and foremost a teacher, so we have to respect his domain and not pull him out too much. But just tapping into the instructional expertise of those folks, we'll have them serve with us on different committees. Sean is and will remain on the district strategic planning team. Our new Teachers of the Year will all become members of our All-Star Advisory Team, and that particular group meets with the superintendent and myself once a month. And we have hot topic sessions where we talk about things that are happening in the classrooms that we need to be aware of, because our teachers are wonderful. We're very lucky to have such a strong pool of teachers in Norfolk, and they also are not shy about sharing. So when we pull those teachers together once a month, as they are our boots on the ground, and they are the front line, they share with us what's going on in those classes, and we're able to provide advice or redirection or resources, or sometimes just information in regard to making things flow more smoothly in our classrooms.
And I asked Sean in the previous session about how is he inspiring other educators? You know, is it best practices that they're sharing amongst each other? So it's good that the Teachers of the Year, they don't just win, but they come back together and they share best practices and come together and discuss different things.
And we, as I said, believe very strongly in the power of our teacher leaders. And if our Teachers of the Year have been identified by their peers and they've gone through the application process and have been selected, it would be kind of silly of us to not use their expertise. So we plan to expand their roles, and the folks who are currently Teachers of the Year, we met with them last on March 27th, and I shared with them that just because your tenure, so to speak, is ending, it doesn't mean that we were going to let you go. We're going to continue to use that pool, and we'll continue to expand the teacher leadership opportunities here in Norfolk Public Schools across the board, and we're very excited about welcoming in our new Teacher of the Year, Whomever that may be.
And I think we'll all be excited. And we promise that we'll show it here on NPS Now,
Thank you.
April 25th's event, as we announce our top educator of the year.
Thank you.
Thank you again, Dr. Savigny, for coming in and sharing with us what it means to be Teacher of the Year, how do you become one, and we look forward to the great things to come for our new Teacher of the Year that will be announced on the 25th. And I want you to stay tuned to this special edition of NPS Now. Our next segment will feature our students' participation in a mock trial with lawyers from the Norfolk Portsmouth Bar Association. Coming up next on NPS Now. Welcome back to NPS Now. Today with us is Dory Banks from the Office of Academic Rigor and attorney Wayne Williams of Williams Deloach, who will talk to us today about an exciting opportunity for our students to become acclimated to courtroom law thanks to our Arts and Sciences program. Thank you both for being here today at NPS Now.
Thank you.
Dory, I want to start with you. Tell us about the Arts and Sciences program here at Norfolk Public Schools.
Well, our Arts and Sciences program is an extended day. It extends the learning for our high ability and our gifted learners. They have an opportunity to take courses and competitions of their interest, such as future problem solving, Model UN, and of course our own courtroom law, which they really enjoy. Our gifted resource teachers, our classroom teachers, along with the attorneys, work together in a partnership to facilitate the program. So we're
who
really
are some
excited.
of the students in this program? Where are they coming from? What schools?
Our middle schools. All of our middle school students participate. They get to sign up for the course. It runs about 8 weeks, and then of course it ends with the mock trial, which Attorney Williams will share more about with you.
Yeah, approximately how many students do we have participating?
Currently we have over 144 students enrolled from the various middle schools across the district.
Okay. And how did you, Mr. Williams, get involved in your organization with planning and doing this type of event?
Well, thanks for having us, Karen. Well, we started this with, I'm a member of the Norfolk Portsmouth Bar Association. We have our Public Relations Committee. We run this program through that and started the mock trial program approximately 8 years ago with just 2 initial schools, Blair and Meadowbrook. And since that time, we've expanded now to serve every single of the Norfolk Public Schools over the course of the last 8 years.
So what made you want to do this?
It's just a way to give back. It's really something that our organization tries to do, and it's really a huge effort from a bunch of lawyers. We have over between 25 and 30 lawyers each year who donate their time, an hour, 2 hours a week to come to the schools. We actually go in the schools and do the work. So it's something that and the volunteers come back year after year because they really enjoy working with the students. It gives them a real great experience for both the student and for the lawyers involved.
Wow. Do you actually use attorneys and judges when you do this mock trial?
Right. We're very fortunate, very large number of volunteers. We have actual lawyers from law firms of all different sizes, large firms, small firms, who allow their attorneys away from work to come out to the schools, do the work with the students for, like I said, an hour to a week. And then ultimately, we're very fortunate to have the Norfolk Circuit Court as a partner. They allow us to use the courtroom, and we do have judges from, we've had judges from the Circuit Court, actually sitting Circuit Court judges. We've had sitting General District Court judges and sitting Juvenile and Domestic Relations Court judges. So we are very fortunate to have all aspects of our legal profession involved.
So what do you think makes them interested and motivated to do this for students, to create future judges and lawyers?
Yeah, I think so, and that's something that Dory and I were talking about. We've been doing this 8 years, and our hope is we'll continue to do it for many years, and I'd like to see some of the students come back and maybe become teachers or come to visit the classrooms and maybe are in law school or already practicing law. We're 8 years into the program now, so we're just starting now. If we keep going in the next couple of years, where we'll hopefully see some of the students who have learned from our lawyers into the program that inspired them and motivated them to become lawyers themselves. And I think that's what the lawyers enjoy. They come back to me every year and say, when's the program going to start? When are we going to do it? I want to get involved again this year. They just like it. They like working with the kids. They like the teaching aspect of it. So.
Wow.
We call them expensive teachers.
Yeah.
You call them expensive teachers?
Yeah, very expensive. We have very
But it's
expensive
free.
teachers.
Yeah.
We're not being charged. It's complimentary.
Right. But
Right.
the attorneys is kind of our joke between us that these attorneys are teaching
Right.
at their rate.
Opportunity time. They're giving up their billable hour
Pro
of the
bono.
time.
Right.
Pro bono, yeah,
Exactly.
to do the work with the kids. So yeah, they have very expensive teachers for free because they love it and they want to help the students of the Norfolk Public Schools.
Okay, how do our students feel about this and our teachers who are involved in this program?
Oh, they love it. Every year they're questioning when we're going to get started with the program. So, you know, this program fits right in with our priorities to raise the achievement for all of our students. So you don't have to be identified gifted to participate. You just have to have an interest and want to learn more about the law and our legal system. So we're really excited that Dr. King and the school board found a creative way to keep this program going and fit it right into the budget because, you know, as we're trying to raise the floor and the ceiling at the same time, this program fits real
Right.
nicely with that initiative.
It's like part of our strategic plan.
Yes, exactly.
Exciting opportunities and options for our students. And this is an
Exactly.
exciting opportunity and option for our students. And an opportunity to get a glimpse of what it's like to be an attorney or a judge.
Right.
Wow, do you happen to have or know of any statistics or stats on any of our kids who have been through this and decided to go into law? Or
Not at
criminal
this time.
justice?
That's what Attorney Williams and I were talking about. It's been about 8 years, so some of our
Okay.
kids that are in high school will be going on to college. So those are some stats we can bring back to you at a later time.
I would love to hear it, and I'm sure our community would love to know too. So when is this mock trial?
It's Friday, April 19th at 12 o'clock at the Circuit Court, so downtown. And we're real excited and thankful to the partnership with Transportation, Mr. Kleinbell and Lacey Caruth, who organizes this entire thing to make sure that the kids can get there on time and get back home.
So how long does this mock trial last? And what's some of the things you're going to be, cases they're going to be doing?
The case this year is a case called Commonwealth versus Stevens. It's a criminal case. It allows issues that the students can argue. Obviously, we don't have a slam dunk case. The case involves a assault and battery type case with a self-defense defense. So there is circumstantial evidence for both sides to make their arguments, make their points. And we will be holding that, as Dory said, in the Norfolk Circuit Court. The court actually is available. We use the entire courtroom that day. The local judges are away at a judges conference, so we picked that date. It works out very nicely so that we don't have to operate around the normal busy court schedule over there, and we get to use all the courtrooms. And what we do is we match up, like for instance, a Blair prosecution versus a Ruffner defense team. What we do is we mix them up. So each school basically has two teams. They have a prosecution and a defense team. And then the day of the competition, which starts around 1 o'clock, it's usually about an hour, hour and a half trial with the kids put on their case. We have approximately 6 witnesses, 3 and 3 on each side, 3 or 4.
And how many courtrooms are we using?
we'll be using 6 courtrooms.
Okay, so
6 courtrooms.
6 courtrooms, 6 different cases.
Simultaneously.
Simultaneously
All going on.
Wow.
And so we'll have 6 sitting judges, which we have Judge Adkins from the Juvenile and Domestic Relations Court. It's going to be sitting in one of the courtrooms, and we have Judge Migliosi from the General District Court, and we have some other attorneys who are experienced attorneys who serve as judges, and they'll sit there in that capacity. Students will argue their case. As Dory mentioned, if we have an overflow, certain students will act as jurors. Parents will come along. We'll put the parents in the box and let
That should
them
be fun.
Yeah.
and serve as jurors. And then we render a verdict. A lot of hung juries because both sides do very well, and no one can come to a determination. And then the sitting judges will give their perspective or follow up and give them some more training and more guidance, following up. Hey, you guys did a good job, but you could have done this.
Well, I'd like to know, how do they prepare? The students prepare for a mock trial?
Well, each week we meet on Tuesdays at the various middle schools. That's when the attorneys come in and help them prepare, and the classroom teachers that have been assigned to their particular middle school. So they're preparing right now. They're preparing for the middle. They get the case in advance.
Well, who gets to pick, I'm the plaintiff or I'm the defendant? Who gets to choose? The students among themselves?
I think it's collaborative, isn't it?
Right. Well, it's the students, whichever interest they show, and then the lawyer teachers who come in assign roles to, because it takes quite a bit of practice to prepare for this, the trial itself. The judge, the lawyer role works with the witness because they have to have camaraderie. Those two work together. We try to, and they're practicing every week, as Dory said. It's about an 8-week program to do that. We go through all phases of a trial, which you have your opening statement. That's where you explain to the jury what's going on. Then we have our direct examination, where you present your evidence to your witnesses. Cross-examination, where the opposing side cross-examines the students. And then finally, closing argument, where you make your closing argument to the jury. So we cover all phases of a trial, just like any normal trial you would see in circuit court on a daily basis. So the kids go through all facets of that and then practice to be prepared for this final trial.
Tedious.
So the bottom line is everybody wins. There's
Yes.
no one winner, plaintiff or defendant. Everyone pretty much wins. It's just the opportunity to experience those roles as a plaintiff and defendant.
Right. There is a, it's more of a teaching tool. Certainly competition and competitive natures come out of these students who want to perform well, which is great. We want them to be excited about it. We want them to try to give their best efforts, and they do get competitive, and they do. I've heard from people when they leave that they talk about the verdicts. So sometimes there's a hung jury, sometimes there are verdicts. It's not a true competition like you'll see in high school or in law schools. But it's a good starting point, I think, and it allows them to see how to do a trial and then move into the higher levels of debate or argument.
Because that's what I was thinking. This is like debate or forensics and kids learning and honing their skills. I'd like to thank you both for coming in today and sharing about this mock trial today. It's going to be exciting, and I believe NPS Now, we will cover this and show it on a future edition of NPS Now. So thank you both for joining us today, and I'd like to thank you all for joining us today for these 2 special segments of NPS Now. The show will air weekly on WNPS Channel 47, or you can view it online at www.npsk12.com. Again, thank you for watching NPS Now.